What's up, Summoners? Welcome to another ProGuides video. My name is Nathan Ng, also kind of like a verb, and this video is covering the 5 things you need to know before Season 10 starts. We know many of you guys are hyped and excited to jump into the rank grind, but we're here to make sure that grind goes a little more smoothly. Make sure to leave any feedback in the comments below as we are always reading them. For our question of the day, what are your goals this season? I'm hoping to find love and master a couple of new champions this season in every role. Are you getting ganked in your own lane? Constantly demolished? Don't worry, we've got you covered. ProGuides is the #1 proven way to quickly help you level up your League of Legends skills. Whether you're looking for tier lists, champion guides, coaching, or courses from your favorite pro players, ProGuides is where you'll find them. Even players like Nightblue, Bunny Fufu, and Loco Doco support ProGuides. So what are you waiting for? Click the link to start improving right now. Now, let's get started. To kick it off, this isn't really advice, but it's still pretty important knowledge. One thing you want to know is that win streaks increase your MMR significantly, while loss streaks do the opposite. This is likely implemented to account for people who are smurfing. Long win streaks usually imply the player is too good for their bracket, so they'll receive increased gains. The opposite, of course, is to counteract some questionable practices that some players like to participate in, followed by an eventual loss streak and the change of a summoner spell keys in their match history. Talking about boosting, don't be a boosted bonobo. Use ProGuides and get there legit. They don't even pay me to say that. I believe in the product, okay? Okay, so the new season is starting, and we all know that you guys are eager to start climbing that ladder. Nothing wrong with that at all. However, a piece of advice that we have for you guys is that it might be easier to climb if you wait a few weeks or even a month after the season starts, especially if you're a diamond or higher. This might not be the case for everyone, but if you're someone who hard carries their games regularly and consistently outplays their opponent in lane, it's something to consider. Here's why. When the new season starts, we always have a soft MMR reset. An easy way to think about this is to see the collective ranks of every player on the server as a metal spring, lower ELO being at the bottom of it and higher ELO being at the top. Once the soft reset happens, the top of that spring gets pushed down. The top players are a little bit lower than before, and players below them notice their ranks dropping a bit, while the lowest players remain basically unaffected at the bottom. As players play more and more of these games, that spring begins to regain its original shape as the best players begin pushing that ceiling higher and higher. Your starting point remains the same regardless of that point of the spring. In other words, let's say you ended Diamond last season. If you play a Platinum game at the beginning of this season, you're gonna end up with a bunch of other players who ended Diamond last season as well. However, if you play a game in Platinum a bit later, it's more likely that you're gonna be playing with players who actually belong there. This comes with advantages and disadvantages. Clearly, an advantage is that you should theoretically be better than everyone else on the Rift unless you got worse, of course. It happens. If you're playing easier games, you should have a better chance to have a win streak. A disadvantage is that your teammates are also going to be worse than you're used to. However, the fact that you're better than everyone else should mean you're in a better position to carry those games. So why does this even matter to begin with? The reason is that your placement games, especially, give you a ton of LP. If you can carry these games, you'll gain a lot more LP than you would otherwise. This isn't something mandatory, especially if you're focused on improving than gaining ELO. Another disadvantage of using this tactic is that you're going to be playing some games that are just lower quality, which are not a very good practice for you. If you have bad luck, this could also backfire and you might end up playing in a lower ELO, so consider it a high-risk, high-reward strategy. Just assess your goals and make the choice of whether or not you want to wait it out. I know that I'm still going to hop into ranked immediately because I have no self-respect and I find the game kind of fun. Another thing you need to know, if you don't know this already, is that you should not play when you're tilted. Where you place and your results early on in the season are so important, guys. Do not, and I repeat, do not play when you're tilted. If you start losing games and doing dumb things, be real with yourself. You're probably tilted, it happens. To not be tilted, I recommend closing League of Legends, going for a walk, getting boba, coming back, and then playing some more League of Legends. If you're tilted, this is how loss streaks happen. You do not want to put yourself in a rut just because you got tilted once and then proceeded to lose several games in a row. Sure, you can climb out of it later, but that's just so much more work and it's going to exhaust you and give you more potential to be even more tilted. You're much better off saving that time and spending it on improving by watching your replays or practicing your mechanics productively. It's also harder to improve when you're tilted or stressed out. While we could delve into the science, this isn't what most of us want. The bottom line is that when you're tilted, you get so focused on the useless stuff like how dumb it was that you died like that, how stupid your jungler is, which seems to be the case when I jungle, or how you made a mistake you promised yourself that you would never make again. When your attention gets drawn to those things, you're paying less attention to everything else, so you won't improve as much and you'll play a lot worse. Every game you play is important. This is quite subjective, honestly, but we believe that adopting this philosophy is one that's bound to lead you to success. Take all of your games seriously, even the ones that seem unwinnable. You can always learn something from a game, practice your mechanics, or even limit test, which is my excuse I use when I die a lot. Ask my friends, it's true. Since every game is important, this also means that you should take time to warm up both physically and mentally. If you want to gain LP, you gotta get some IRL gym gains, is what I say, but it's probably not true, but you know, you get abs and stuff. Cold hands are the worst. I swear by it, I play worse when I have cold hands. Look at pro players too. You can almost always see them using hand warmers before and in between the games. This isn't random and definitely is not being a sissy. It's harder to use your hands when they're cold. Although this may be insignificant with many tasks in our lives, gaming takes a bit of dexterity and precision. So don't take this for granted. Stretch your wrists and your fingers too. You'll definitely want to maintain your physical health. Are you tired of missing an entire minion wave of last hits and just getting tilted by it? Hop into a custom game or the practice tool and last hit for 5 to 10 minutes before you hit the rift. If you play a champion that's mechanically challenging, just practice those combos a little bit. It doesn't take much time and it's definitely a lot better to spend that time warming up instead of tilting off the face of the planet when you mess up in your games. If you have some friends online, it might even be worth playing a quick 1v1 with them. This would be ideal, actually, because last hitting by yourself in custom games takes away an entire dimension from the laning phase, an opponent that pressures you. You'll also have time to practice trading, wave management, and whatever else is specific to your champion. Another thing you need to know is all the changes that have taken place. This one isn't hard, just do your homework. Luckily for you guys, we have cheat sheets and all the answers for you on our YouTube channel. Check out our tier lists, our videos, and changes to Summoner Rift this season, and so much more. Keep yourself informed, guys. League is a game decided by knowledge and decision making. It's not just about the mechanics and the micros, but the macros, and we've got you covered on all of those fronts. Since we're already here, we might as well talk about it a little bit. I'm gonna call it right now though. If Conqueror doesn't get nerfed any harder, abuse any champion that can use it. It's way too strong on champions like Mordekaiser, Darius, Olaf, Master Yi, and even Katarina, as they have been abusing this keystone. The amount of power it provides is absolutely ridiculous. Aside from these picks, I highly suggest using champions such as Caitlyn, Nautilus, Warwick, and Ornn because of what they bring to the table. Summoner's Rift has seen a lot of changes, such as power shifts across the map and increased importance of dragon buffs. You want to play champions that are powerful laners or who provide valuable utility for your team, which will also allow you to see that victory screen by the end of the game. There have been changes to Stormrazor as well, making it a much stronger item than it was previously. A lot of marksmen are abusing this item, so update yourself on the item builds as well. The lethality item changes have been a little bit underwhelming, but you'll still need to learn about them if you're someone who likes playing AD assassins. The last thing we want to mention is a topic of duo queuing. Personally, I am looking for a duo queue partner in life, a life partner as you may, the love of my life that also plays League. If you're out there, comment in the section below. Anyway, duo queuing is something that's worth debating, as you get to play with someone you can trust and communicate with. Or maybe not, but it's up to you guys. If it's more fun, that's also completely a valid reason to duo. In return, you play against harder opponents. A pretty fair exchange, but at the end of the day, there are going to be times like this where it isn't worth it. You'll need to determine whether or not your duo partner justifies the extra challenge you face. However, as a general rule of thumb, it's always worth it if one of you guys is jungling or if you're laning in the bottom lane together. Also, to improve your win rate, send this video to your duo partner. Both of these have rather straightforward reasoning, but let's break it down. In the bottom lane, you're going to be playing 2v2. When you solo queue, you need to rely on someone else to play properly or at least match your playstyle. If your marksman is playing balls to the wall while you're sitting back afraid of getting ganked, you might honestly be right. However, the fact is that you guys are playing very differently and it could lead to very adverse results. Even though you're both doing good things, they don't in any way work together. Duo queuing with your lane partner and being on comms will remedy this. Simply playing with someone enough will give you an idea of what their playstyle is like. The comms are definitely an added bonus as you can talk about the things that are going elsewhere or what you could do next as a tag team duo. Certain things cannot be executed reliably if you are not talking to each other. You might be able to burst someone down with a Thresh hook into an Ezreal ultimate, but you won't be able to consistently pull this play off without talking about it beforehand. You open up so many more possibilities by playing bot lane with the duo partner and can really push your limits together. Anything from 2v2s, 2v1s, turret dives, or even outplaying 2v3 ganks becomes so much easier when you guys are able to talk to each other about it. It's a fact, junglers have a lot of influence in the game. They're probably the only role that's not obligated to play around a specific minion wave. It's not their sole responsibility to win a lane, but at the same time, it is their job to keep tabs on all of them. Junglers can work with any other role since they have access to the entire map. If you were to play someone like mid and support duo, for example, it'll be a bit harder for that support player to constantly leave lane and gank mid. After all, once they leave, their lane partner might randomly decide to run it down. As a jungler, you can always change your pathing or find a way to play around any of your lanes. At the same time, laners can also play their lanes in a way that supplement their junglers. Sure, you can freeze that wave to pressure your opponent, but how many times has your opponent just not cared and pushed anyway? Those moments can be infuriating, especially when your opponent plays disrespectfully and you feel like they shouldn't be getting away with it. Having your jungler on comms will allow you to talk about the state of your wave as well as inform them when they can pick up some free kills. Together, you can kill that pesky laner who's always overextended, create leads, and then take those victories for yourselves. Alright, that's all you need to know before the season starts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, be sure to check out ProGuides.com as well as our YouTube channel for an abundance of resources to help you guys improve the Rift. Good luck on your games, and we hope that you can hit your goals this season. Again, my name is Nathan Ing, and if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is @Nathan_ING. See you next time, Summoners, and I hope to actually run into you on the Rift.